fitness issues over several players, of course. Stevens, Baldock, Sharp, Jagielka, Mousse. Any of them going to be available for Newcastle tomorrow?
We'd like to think some of those 5 that you've mentioned will be. It'll be touch and go on a couple. Hopefully all 5 will be available for the weekend, but we don't know on 2 or 3 of those players if Tuesday night comes too early for those players.
Are there any other absentees that we don't know about, or any other sort of COVID issues that you're dealing with at the minute?
No, we got tested yesterday, so results will come through this afternoon. So fingers crossed, as every club up and down the country, not just the Premier League, obviously the EFL as well. This is the world that we're living in the football game as well, regarding negative and positive results.
Absolutely. I mean, at the weekend we've seen under 23s and under 18s being fielded in the FA Cup. Games postponed and rearranged at very short notice. There's talk about the Spurs-Fulham game being rearranged this week at very short notice. How much is there a sort of fairness issue at the moment and a devaluing of the competition with everything that's going on?
Obviously there is. There is, as I said, what happened at the weekend and what you've just said. I think that the Spurs Fulham game is on now, so that was obviously down for Spurs to play Villa, and it's obviously match day, whatever it is, and it's a midweek game. So yeah, of course, if that game had not taken place, then the obvious advantage to Tottenham and having a week to prepare against us, even though they might not need a week, they might only need 24 hours, the way it's going at the moment. But still, yeah, talking to you, of course, it's certainly an uncertain time, and I believe that uncertainty will be with us for quite a while, and it's something we're going to have to get used to.
I mean, given that, should the game look at the Euros and potentially postponing that? Because at the minute, the game seems to be frantically trying to fit Cup and League fixtures in for that purpose. Should that be looked at to potentially give people some breathing space to help with those issues we've just talked about?
To be fair, Adam, I've not really thought about what goes off on an international front. At times, you just go along with as I said, the medical experts at the Premier League, and take your lead off them, and obviously the situation, what's happening at various football clubs. But I've got to say, I've not really thought about the summer, as you can imagine. My only thought has been sort of the next game and the difficulties that that poses, and I suppose the difficulties it poses for the Premier League, in terms of what the situation is at the moment with and the FA as well, with FA Cup games being called off. I just don't think anybody knows exactly where they're at with it at the moment, and that is not a criticism to anybody in the FA or the Premier League. And I think it's just a day by day sort of existence, which obviously isn't ideal to anybody, and imagine obviously provokes a lot of debate on quite a few things, whether Euros should be cancelled, whether there's been talk of obviously a suspension and other things. But as I said, from day one of the virus, I want to come to work, as I imagine all the people in the country that have got jobs want to go to work and get back to normality. But it certainly isn't the case at the moment, and definitely there's a completely different feel to what's happening now to what was happening 12 months ago.
Clearly a big positive at the weekend in getting that victory against Bristol Rovers. How useful could an FA Cup run be for you and your team from a sort of morale and momentum perspective in winning games of football?
That's always the case, and even if we'd have put out a side not as strong as what we did on Saturday, as I keep saying, repeat myself, there's no harm in winning games of football and playing well. And I thought, looking back at the game, I think 12 months ago, if we'd have played in the same manner and got through the tie, we'd have said that was a decent performance and great to get into the next round. And we're saying the same thing, but obviously the league position is completely different. But just to win games of football, it's been a long time, obviously, and a difficult and disappointing period for us all. And we all that have watched this football team know that we should have won games before this long period. In this long period that we haven't. But anything that we can hold on to and build from to push the players into a better place mentally, from a confidence and a belief point of view, will help them to hopefully play better, put better performances in, and hopefully pick up some results.
And one other element along those lines, we're into January, which normally you'd be well into the second half of the season, really, but we're not this season. There's still 21 games to go. Is that still something that you keep reminding the players that there are still plenty of points to play for?
Yeah, of course. We can't look too far ahead to what's in the future. We've just really got to crack on with that next game, and we have done. We did going into the weekend, and we have done going preparing on Sunday. A long journey back from Bristol, in Sunday morning, preparing in today and tomorrow for another big game. But yeah, again, it's still incredibly tough opponents that we're up against, and I know they've had a really tough run as well. And Steve's obviously an experienced Premier League manager, so it's a big challenge ahead of us, as they all are, as they all have been right the way through our period playing at this level.
I appreciate every game's important, but with Spurs and the two Manchester clubs coming up, is there a little bit of extra significance you feel on this one?
No, it's just the next game, Adam. You just got to go and attack the next game. I think we understand, if we play where we can play and play at our best, then we believe that we can get a result. We've done that all season. We've felt that way all season. But thinking it, believing it, and producing it are three different things in there. So of course, it's important for us to get a result. Looking at the league position, and if we do, then hopefully we build off the back of the Bristol Rovers game, build off the back of Newcastle, and yet again we're even we're playing Newcastle on Tuesday night. There's big games ahead of us, and we'll deal with that accordingly.
Do you feel you do a little slice of luck against Newcastle? The VAR decision at Bramall Lane, John Egan's red card at St James's Park with the soft booking?
No, I don't. I think we all look for that bit, of course, and we'll take it when it's there. And you sometimes see some performances and up and down the country, and you look at Premier League games and go, how did they get a result there? And some things happen in football that sometimes you scratch your head. So yeah, of course we'll take anything that goes, but we've got to concentrate on playing well and playing at the levels that we think we can play at. And if we do that, then yeah, we'll take that bit of luck. Hopefully, no controversial refereeing decisions involved. That everybody's after that. A nice quiet game from the referee and the VAR situation. Obviously, what happened last season. But we want to win a game on merit. We want to win a game because we've played better than the opposition and done a lot of things right in and out of possession, and had a good mentality about the game, and a good approach to the game, which I'm sure we will have.
You always enjoyed coming up against Steve Bruce. Good, healthy rivalry between yourselves. Yeah,
as I said on record many a time, he's a man I hugely respect, and knowing him from when he was first player manager here in the late 90s at Bramall Lane, and I think you just look at his track record and where he's been and who he's managed, and I keep saying it, the longevity in the Premier League, how difficult it is not just to manage in the Premier League but to play in the Premier League. And we've just been talking about it, with the staff, that some of these players that, you know, season in, season out, play at this level, earn contracts at this level, stay at this level. You know, there's an enormous amount of, you know, admiration for these guys as players, let alone managers who know how cutthroat the competition is and how cutthroat the industry is. So for Steve to still be managing at this level and whatever he's achieved and keep going, I've got an enormous amount of respect for.